Go, 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 go. Everybody's talking about who I am. And I'm me, so that's who I am. I was born a person, and that's who I am. And as I continue to live, I'm the person I am. Go, yeah. I'm gonna keep on being a person. And then when I die, I'll no longer be a person. And then I'll be a memory of a person. And you are also persons with the memory of me as a person, yeah. Thus ends the intro song, and here forthwith begins the podcast episode. Thus ends the introductory vocals of the pre-recorded X-filled vocal chord vibration singing of the intro song. And now begins the show part of the segment that is this podcast. Thank you so much for listening to the third intro to the podcast, otherwise known as the second filler after the introductory music has been played for your listening pleasure. The podcast will now begin shortly after a word from our sponsors. Hello, this is Sponsors. Word. Thank you, sponsors. We really appreciate all you add to our podcast, our show, our segment of entertainment for the good people of the Discord. Thus ends the word from our sponsor. And now, for something very interesting, the news. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the news. Probably check your local news to figure out what's going on in the news for you. And that was the news, folks. I hope you feel educated and that your knowledge of the local part of the world, of the globe that you live on, is expanded for you in a way that makes you feel closer to the world and locals around you in whatever part of the hemisphere of the Gladys Nidosphere that you currently reside in. All right, well, hike up your britches. It's time for a musical number by Hans Zimmer. Man. Copyrighted music here. Wow, if you had told me just a year ago that I would be able to have Hans Zimmer, man, to do music on a podcast, first I would say, I have a podcast because this podcast didn't exist a year ago. So that was humor, and the next segment was going to be humor, so I guess we can skip that segment now. So, do you want to maybe see something else right now, guys? Oh, what have I been playing recently? Let's skerbow. Hey, everyone. Games. So, I hope that gives you an insight look into the medium of entertainment called video games that I currently am enjoying to pass time between being a father and a government employee and a husband and sometimes sleeping. So that was a lot more about me. Let's learn about you in a segment about the people. The people. So I really want to talk about people. And so, like, there's people in Discord, and they're in there, and it makes me happy. Diddle-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Bells will ring, ding-a-ling-a-ling, when you sing Vita Bella. That's a song by Ding Brosby. I'm pretty sure that's the guy. Or was it the other singer, Bank Sinatra. I'm trying to remember. One of them beat their kids with a sock full of oranges. That's a true story. So, on for our next segment. Depressing stories in history. Hey guys, so this is depressing stories in history. And I mean, honestly, you could just kind of open up a history book, turn to any random chapter, and probably get depressed. So, if you want to take some time to do that, you could pause the podcast, but I'm really nice, so I'll just give you time. Smell like bubble. I hope that was enough time. Let's return to your scheduled programming. Hey, hey, listen. Oh, fuck. What is up, listener? Damn it. Sly Guy, my guy. What up? Welcome back to the show. I hope you learned something from history, because if you don't, it's doomed to repeat itself. And history is depressing, and you don't want depression to repeat itself. You don't want to rear its ugly head. So anyway, let's have something. Do you guys like being happy? 'Cause I do. Let's talk about happiness. So you can write an email in elmerfuddgames@gmail.com with happiness. Or you can go to in the Discord. There's a section, questions for the show. You could happiness there. So, I'm Elmer Fudd. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Elmer Fudd Games. Double M. Family. Okay. Are you still here? Did you survive that? Folks, if there is one look into how my mental health is doing, it's that 9.5 fuck show of an intro I just did. Did that just riff? And I couldn't stop myself? Yes. All right. Did I thoroughly enjoy that? Absolutely. Did I leave an extra 30 seconds before the show really started after a 9.5 minute not show start? I think I did. Is it 10:30 in the morning? I just opened up a beer and peanut butter M&Ms. Yeah. How's your life going? Feeling good. Am I sitting on a broken chair that if I lean the wrong way, I fall on the floor and I'm waiting for UPS to show up while I'm recording this podcast so they can give me my new chair that I just ordered? Yes. Yeah. I'm sure many of you have seen the clip of the chair fall. The chair is actually broken more since then. The aftermath is such that one of the wheels completely snapped. It was sort of broken, right? And then as time gone by, if you're lost, you can look and you will find love time after time. It just snapped off and there's no way to put it back on. So if I sit wrong, I end up on the floor again. So I got that going on for me. But yeah, hey everyone. It's been a hot minute since I've recorded anything or made any content or streamed or anything. And, I wanted to kind of get out there and just throw something out there, just to let everyone know I'm alive. I still think about everybody all the time. I'm still pretty active in my Discord and whatnot. And we've been playing some games over there. It's not a lot of stream stuff, but I'll for sure be talking about what I'm playing and whatnot. Anybody that's interesting to you, I mean, I'd love to rock and roll with you, but, yeah. So I guess just to hit the initial part out of the way here. So every, holiday season I get into a bit of depressional slump. Some years it's not too bad. Some years it gets pretty bad. Like last year was actually really good. I don't think I stopped streaming. I think I kept my stream schedule. We had tournaments going all through Christmas, or right after. It was like nothing even happened. So last year was probably the best I've had in a long time. And for some reason, and I can't put my finger on why, this year's slump was very dark. It was. Lasted a long time. I'm still sort of coming out of it. I'm still in it a little bit. But yeah, I don't know why. Things are, and everyone knows, the brain does what the brain does, family's happy. Marriage is great. Kids are fantastic. We're having fun together. Work's been pretty rough. So there's that, but it's nothing I've handled before, Weather hasn't been insane. I'm a homeowner. I have my own space to play video games. All in all, things are great. And there's no reason why the brain just decides you're going to be a helpless, sad piece of shit for 2 months straight, all day, every day. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling myself getting better. And I'll still just have moments. Last night I was playing a game with Gunbait 101. So big news for anyone who hasn't been around a while. He's back in our lives. Absolutely fucking love that man. But so just laughing, having such a good time. We're playing a game, which I'll be talking about very, very in-depthly here soon. But, just laughing, having a really good time. I can't even begin to tell you how happy I am to have this man back in my life. He's one of the most important people. I'm going to try not to cry here because I'm an emotional wreck. But one of the most important people I've met playing games. So influential in my life. Love his humor. Love who he is as a person. Sometimes you find that person that you just click instantly and you're just like, all right, this is my guy. And he's my guy. So he's back in my life, which again should make me insanely happy, but I've been in a fucking depressed little bitch boy. Anyway, but yeah, no, so we're having fun. Like the wife's coming in, me and her talking, we're all laughing, chatting, kids come in, everything's great, whatever. And the second we stop gaming, cause we have to go to bed, it's like, bam, that cloud sunk back over me. And I was just in a horrible slump for like 4 hours after that. So it's like you can be having an amazing high and all of a sudden the low just hits hard. It's tough, man. It's tough. But at the end of the day, I'm here. I'm alive. I'm still able to, make jokes with my friends and stuff. I don't know. I feel it's weird. I feel like it hasn't changed much of who I am in my day to day, but it's just always inside me. Does that make sense? And I wasn't originally going to talk about this or put it out there, but it's like, we live in an age where so much, mental health discussions and chat and everything is so mainstream. Like, it's not a weird thing to talk. So it doesn't feel, I don't know. It's like you'd want to hold it in, but it's like, I know so many people have that same thing, and it feels weird to be like, everything's fine in life. Why am I feeling this way? Am I just not grateful? Is something wrong with me? So I really wanted to put it out there because I'm sure someone out there, guaranteed is feeling the same thing. And, maybe they can tell me how the fuck to fix myself, or we can bond over this. Either way. But yeah, hey folks. Yep, I'm here. I'm alive. We're great. We're doing great. We're doing great. What should we talk about? Let's discuss some things. Here's what we got going on, folks. All right. So nothing planned, right? I'm still not 100% positive jumping back into streaming just yet. It's not something I'm done with. I just don't have the extra mental power to be, not that like you have to be entertaining when you stream, but part of you needs to be. But it's just that extra step of pressing the go live and, I don't know what to play and all this stuff. It's just been tough, in my own head. But I did put out a feeler. I was very proud of myself. I've been very goal oriented this last week after a month and a half of being in a really deep slump. I've been very goal oriented in trying to slowly pull myself out of it and not just be like, well, just be better. Have you tried not being sad? So I did go into every tournament Discord. This is a big step. This took days for me to work up to doing this. Made an @everyone post in there to see if there was still interest in the game of choice. Obviously for Fortnite, Warzone 3's had a very interesting launch. Apex, a lot of people were kind of getting burnt out recently. So seeing if everyone is interested in that and whatnot. So a lot of feedback out of there, which I probably is part of the reason I'm able to record this even today, is getting the feedback from people saying, yes, we're still interested in the game. Yes, we want to see another tournament. That's that kind of positive reinforcement you need. Your brain tells you no one gives a shit, but everyone's just living their life, dude. You know what I mean? So that was a huge moment, so that felt really good. So hopefully we can get something rock and rolling for those again. I have some ideas. Give me some feedback on this. This is just spewing words from my mouth here, but I want to do I know a lot of Apex players are getting into Overwatch right now or returning to Overwatch. I don't want to do an Overwatch tournament in the States. I only want to do one in South Africa. So it'll be only a Overwatch tournament for our South African listeners. So get your teams together. It's happening, folks. No, I don't want to do the kill race tournament, obviously, is how I had done all my tournaments for battle royales and stuff. But that doesn't work as well. That doesn't work for Overwatch type thing. And just doing, it'd be weird to just do a one night thing. So what I'd like to do is a bracket style, multi-week tournament kind of thing for Overwatch. I think it'd be fun, especially with teams. It's 5v5 is a lot easier to get together than 12v12. You know what I mean? So, or 6v6. So, it's two less people you got to find, which, as anyone knows, just finding a team of 3 people is impossible. So 2 less people to find, possible. I think that'd be fun. I want to throw out a couple of different things this year. So yeah, maybe an Overwatch bracket style would be really fun. Maybe a racing game even would be an interesting thing to do, a race day. I don't know. There's ideas that I've had the last few days that just are not coming to my mind now that I'm recording it and putting it down, which is another great thing you should do, folks. If you have an idea, write it the fuck down. Put it out there. Okay? Yeah, all right. Yeah. That'll help you in the future when you want to recollect a great idea you've had. Amazon was my idea. I just didn't write it down. And look what I lost out on, folks. Yeah. So, gaming. Hey, that's what we're talking about. What have I been playing whilst in a slump? So, I have not been streaming and whatnot, as we've said, but I've been talking about this the last couple episodes, I believe, was the community server for Valheim has been popping pretty good. And that still holds true. We have a solid group of people playing in there. I think we discussed doing the community village when last I recorded. So we all got together on one night, got on a boat, sailed to the opposite end of the entire map Tried to find some meadows in order to build a town, right? Our little village. There was no meadows on the edge of the map, which makes sense. It's supposed to be harder, the further out you go. So we found a island, like a tiny little island of black forest. We deforested the entire thing, leveled it out, and started building our village there. A few more people joined the server after that. We found more room for them on the island, and things expanded to such. It was super cool. Go into the Discord and look at all the photos. There's some great photos of the community village there. But yeah, so watching a bunch of people come into the game fresh, start new, watching their bases expand. Every time you'd log in, they had like a slightly better gear on, which is exciting. Watch them expand the village and increase, the defenses and build gates and moats and docks and bridges all over the place. It was just super fun to watch, man. And we've been, busting through all the world bosses, gearing everyone up, prepping ourselves for Ashlands, which is hopefully in the next 4 months ish. And then we got to a point where that village it was too contained of a space for how much everyone was growing. So we started Village 2.0 in the Plains biome near a dark tower we had to, clear out and kill a boss and all this stuff. It was really cool. Not the Valheim, not the Valheim boss, but I guess like a mini boss is how I would put it. So we have a new village there with some fantastic builds, community center inside with a big trophy room. So all the world boss trophies are in there. All the enemies we've killed as we try to get, I think we have almost all the trophies in the game in the trophy room, which feels really cool to do. Watching everyone be able to expand their bases into what they wanted, but they couldn't with the space involved in the old village has been awesome. We killed the Queen, which is the current final boss, air quotes, for Valheim. That was a terrifying adventure. So first you have to build a seal breaker to break the seal on the door where there's a rune out front that says, hey, we sealed her away for a reason, broke the key, and spread it across the world. Do not let her out, basically. So we went around the world, got all the key pieces, and broke open the seal and went inside, obviously, because we're smart Vikings. It was me, Gunbait101, and Jackal 7250, Mr. Russell. And we went in there. Russell was our magic boy. I had my big sword. And I think Gunbait was Mistwalker, so the smaller sword and shield. So he was doing some like magic damage to it on top of the piercing damage. I was just doing big hits with a sword, but I, was didn't have as much defensive. And then Russ was super squishy, but he could shoot a shit ton of spells from far away. Adding magic to Valheim was super cool. We died a lot. I think there's a screenshot of the Queen being dead, and there's like 3 different tombstones of Gunbait in a circle around her body. It's pretty great screenshot. But yeah, so we finally beat her. I did post that to YouTube. I actually recorded that. That was fun to push the button and put something on YouTube. That got my creative juices flowing again. Baby steps, folks, baby steps. But so that's been super fun. That's mostly the main thing I've been playing is Valheim. A little Fortnite sprinkled in. I'm still really enjoying the season. It's just a tough game to play when you're mentally not in it. I'm sure I've said some things to teammates that I should not have, and so I've kind of taken a small break. But the season's great. The gunplay still feels fantastic. I love the art style. Chapter 5 has been fantastic. I know they just had a big update with some map changes and some new weapons this last Tuesday, so I definitely want to go in and check that out. Banana Man, if you listen to this, I still love you. I just can't Fortnite because I'm a depressed piece of shit. So there's that. Anything else I've been playing? Valheim, and then before I talk about the game that launched yesterday, Valheim, Fortnite. Oh, I also got my depression game, obviously, folks. World of Warcraft. I've been getting back into World of Warcraft. That's my depression game. Lisa knows if I'm playing WoW again, that means I'm in a slump. It's so the reason for that is I've been playing that. I didn't play the beta, right? I don't think maybe we did play the beta once, but I've been there since launch for World of Warcraft. I think that was 2004, maybe. I was a freshman in high school, I think, when it launched. Yeah. So like that's a big 20 years, whatever that is. Is that 20 years? Yeah. Holy shit. 20 years of WoW being a part of my life. And it's one of those. First of all, I mean, I love the game. The lore is fantastic. I honestly love the gameplay, the art style. The community is incredible. The dungeon pool is fantastic. Raids are always incredible. Mythic Dungeons is a super fun thing they've added. Every expansion has just really great stuff they add to it. Dragonflight is one of the best expansions I've had recently. It's been an incredible experience. But anyway, besides that, so part of the reason I play it when I get into a slump is, again, it's that comfort game that's always been there for me. Do you know what I mean? It's been there it's been there 20 years of my life. I'm turning 34 this year. It's been there for 20 years of my life. Do the math on that. And then, you know, it was a big part of my life there. My mom, who passed away in 2020, she never played, but she loved the idea of the game, and we would talk about it all the time. Every time we'd get together, even after I graduated high school, you know, if I'd come over to visit and whatnot, she'd be like, "Hey, what's going on in WoW?" She was always fascinated by it, and she always had a running joke that whatever the level cap was, she was always 20 levels higher than it and had the best gear. You know, anytime I'd brag about, you know, getting some cool accomplishment, she's like, "Oh, that's fucking nothing." I mean, she wouldn't swear because she was an angel, and it is an angel now because she's dead. But Jesus Christ, Brett. But yeah, so she'd always be like, "Oh, that's nothing. You know, you hit level 80. Well, I'm 120, you know, and I'm a thing that they only made for me, you know, the only race class combo that could exist. They crafted it specifically for me, and I can one shot all the things, you know." So it's fun. It's that comfort, you know, it's like, I don't know, a part of her's there when I play WoW, and all the friends I've made along the way just from playing it. And it's a fantastic game, folks. Listen, as much as people make fun of World of Warcraft and Fortnite, which are two games I play a lot of, they're fantastic games. All right, get over yourself and give it a whirl. All right, I know there's some people out there that have played them and hate them, and that's fine. But it's the people who hate on them and have never tried it. They hate us because they ain't us. No, they ain't us. Oh my God, they ate my. Okay, never mind. Don't go down the path. Yeah, give it a whirl. They're fantastic games. Really beautiful, fleshed out worlds. But yes, I've been playing WoW. I decided I was going to play my hunter that I haven't played for a long time. I was like, I'm going to main hunter and be a ranged little DPS, because I'm always melee, and ranged always seems like they have a really easy time. And it's true, folks. It was eye-opening to raid. I've never really raided as a ranged DPS before. So, yeah, it's very easy to just stand there and you take 3 steps to the left and to the right if something happens. Sometimes you run up and stack, but otherwise you're just doing your rotation and standing still. It's kind of awesome. Normally I'm in melee with a big sword and I'm like jumping all over the place, and it's stressful. And I've realized I'm addicted to that. So I shelved the hunter and I'm back on the paladin. So Ret Paladin for days. And it kind of turned out like 2 days after I decided to go back to Ret Paladin, they came out with a patch and they buffed it a ton. So I'm like, hey, you know, they just knew I was coming back to it. So that's been super fun. Cleared it on LFR, looking for raid, easiest level there is for the raid. So I'm kind of a god. I haven't touched on normal yet. I'm hoping to this weekend with Mr. I don't want to say the whole group's name wrong, but Purple Tie, and I don't actually know anyone else in the raid group. So Purple Tie, hopefully I can get in there with his raid group and try it on normal. But I am 4 out of, is it 9 bosses or 8 bosses? 4 out of whatever number of bosses in heroic in my guild group that they've graciously just dragged me along to be like, hey, we don't need the gear, just jump in. So Sunday nights they mythic raid, and I think they're 2 out of 8 mythic now. They just got their second kill the other week or last week, which was awesome. We're on a tiny little server. I think they're the best raiding guild on our server right now. And there's probably people listening that their guilds are 8 out of 8 mythic, and so they're laughing. But hey, for our cute little server, they're kicking butt, right? So Mondays, they're kind of like,
clear some bosses on heroic, get a couple more pieces of gear if they need it just to fill in and, bring people like me through. So yeah, so I got dragged through for a few bosses and then they, we're going to go kill bosses that I wasn't high enough to go handle. So they kind of trimmed the group and it wasn't just me that got trimmed, but yes, that's been super fun. I'm really enjoying the content, the story, going to the Emerald Dream, which has been such a huge part of WoW lore for so long. I'm so fucking nerdy. I get it. It's just fantastic, folks. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Don't sue me. I'm going to take a sip of booze here. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff. Okay. The big thing, I've been talking a lot longer than I thought I was going to talk. The big thing, though, is a game called Enshrouded, launched yesterday as of the recording of this podcast. So it launched on January 24th, 2024. For those of you doing quick math at home, I'm recording this on January 25th, 2024. So it is a survival RPG. You start with nothing, right? Break a tree, build an axe, work forward from there. You'd think it's your basic survival game, right? But it seems to be, as we're getting more into it, more of a survival RPG with co-op in it. It's a massive open world, right? With all your building it, you build your house, you slowly level up crafting, mine all the things you need to craft the things, your basic, Valheim, Minecraft, all that kind of stuff in there. But it's not a randomly generated world, which is what a lot of these games do. It's a very not linear, but it's a very story-based RPG experience as a survival game, if that makes sense. So we're looking at it as maybe it's not the best experience to have like a community server where a bunch of people come in because there's a quest chain to go through the whole map, right? And I'll get into the quests, and they're actually really well done. But it looks like quests are server-based and not character-based. So if you're coming onto a server, and I haven't tested this is just something that's kind of in the initial look at the game. It might be what it is. So if you join a server late and the quests are done, that's not an experience you get to do. Obviously, you still get, to go through and, level up and gear up and all that stuff, which is still awesome. But if you want to do the questing experience, that's already gone. So this might be a great, get 4 or 5 of your friends you play with regularly, or 2. I mean, you could do this by yourself even. 1 to 5 people, I'd say, and you play regularly together and go through the story together because there's an actual kind of story going on, which is great. It's not something I've really seen before in this genre. So I'm very excited for that. The combat is super fun. You actually, there's parrying, there's blocking, there's rolling, sprinting, sneak attacks, magic, ranged attacks, throwing knives, crossbows, bows, wands, staffs that shoot fireballs or healing. There's a very intensive skill tree, right? Where you can skill into being a tank with a sword and shield that just takes all the damage for your teammates. You can be just a guy who has a big weapon and slaughters everything in front of him. You could skill into being a sneaky little boy with a dagger where stuff doesn't know you're there until you're right. It's stuff that can't register your existence until you get right up on them, and your sneak attack damage is increased so much. Rangers, you could have it sounded like, I thought I saw in the skill tree like a Beastmaster thing. So maybe you can have a pet. I don't know. That'd be cool. But there's like 3 different classes for having a bow, whether you're a tracker, a hunter, a ranger, all that kind of stuff. Magic using. There's a whole skill tree for healing magic, a whole skill tree for fire magic, a whole skill tree for nature magic, a whole skill tree for wands, a whole skill tree for staffs. It was kind of mind-boggling, like the skill tree. So if you get a good group together and you're all kind of skilling different ways, you can have a really cool group set up. There's loot chests all over the map that have cool stuff. I did my first boss fight last night, which was super cool. If you got in melee range, the boss actually kicked you backwards. And if you had the time, Elden Ring, Dark Souls kind of thing, you got to get used to what his attacks were, and time when you'd roll away from them and go back in to engage an attack and get out of the way or move before he kicked you and stunned you for a second. And then he dropped a legendary axe, which is awesome. And then I had to jump into a different server and went and killed him again. And I got a different weapon. So there's a loot pool for all these chests and the bosses. So it's something different all the time, which is pretty cool. So there is replayability there to get a different, try different skill tree, try a different weapon loadout. If you want to start, if you blast through, I don't know how big the game actually is, but I'm sure it's huge. I went into the wiki for the game last night just to be like, I wonder how many armor sets there are. Just because I'd hate for, a lot of these games come out and there's like 4 armor sets. And you're like, oh, that's pretty boring. There's like 30 armor sets. There's like 6 for each class you can go with. There's armor sets for gardening. There's armor sets for building. There's armor sets for bow and arrow. There's armor sets for sneaking. There's armor sets for, taking a ton of damage. There's armor sets for increasing your health. There's armor sets for doing more damage with a sword. For everything in the skill tree, there's like 3 or 4 armor sets for each of those skill tree sets. So I'm like, all right, this is actually more in depth than I thought it was. So, and it's a very pretty looking game. So far I'm 7 hours in and I'm really enjoying myself. We'll see if that can continue on and how things go as we try to get more people involved, if that kind of muddles with the experience. But for what it is and for it being, I think it was $26 at release. And I think they're doing the route that every game does and, goes early access. So if something's wrong, they can say it's not a full game yet. And actually early access lets them update it a lot faster, which is great too. So for an early access game launching from not a huge studio, it runs buttery smooth. I had to change some settings around. Obviously it doesn't run smooth if you have it on ultra graphics, and that could just be my PC. But I like to do that on some of these games to see how pretty they can look. It looked gorgeous, but it did not run smoothly. I think I went middle of the road where it's like a good balance between performance and visuals. And it still looks gorgeous and runs buttery smooth. I can't believe how smooth this thing runs. But yeah, thoroughly enjoying it. There's a glider. Like Breath of the Wild, it's definitely a lot of Breath of the Wild stuff going on in this game too, like the climbing mechanics and all that stuff. But the glider is the greatest thing in a game, folks. Okay. Just jumping off of climbing a tower and jumping off and then gliding back to base from a mile away. Super fun. Oh God, I'm going to take fall damage. Just kidding. I have a glider. It's incredible. I love it. So yeah, Enshrouded so far, I will keep you updated, but so far, very impressed with the game. It's not what I thought it was, which is cool. But we'll see how it goes as a community type game. I was hoping it'd be a prettier Valheim where we could have a big community server. We'll see if it still can do that. I think so. We'll find out. Okay, my voice is going because this is the most I've talked in 2 months, folks, because I don't... Sorry, I'm going to gag. I'm so out of practice. I don't podcast. I don't stream. I'm by myself in a metal box at work all day. So the most I talk is around the dinner table with my family anymore. Okay, that hurts. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it there. But that's what we got going on. I'm still alive. We're slowly returning to the land of healthy mental stability. So yeah, again, thank you guys so much for listening. The plan is still to get an episode very soon with the next guest being my daughter, Isabella. The questions are in the Discord. She's still very excited to do that. I really want to get that done. I wanted to record because it's been an awkward amount of time. I wanted to record another one, just me, to keep you guys updated, let you know what's going on. And for me to kind of get in the swing of talking into a microphone again. Because again, I'm very out of practice with that. So yeah, there we go. Thank you all so much for listening, folks. Get yourself some Baby Seal socks, the best socks you can get on the market. Go clubbing with your Baby Seal socks. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all those places at Elmer Fudd Games. MMD. Folks, that whisper MMD, it made me feel bad doing it earlier. So it felt good to just let it out of my system there. All right, we're out of here. Oh, this is an outro song. We're singing an outro song about a person who's a person, and he's singing a song about an outro. Outro. Yada da 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 outro. I think the UPS guy just got here. I'm gonna go get my chair.